welcome to Japan. I'm back again. I didn't expect to be here so soon after being back. As I film this, it is January the 25th, 26th, I think we've just gone. I've just returned after coming to the south of Japan in November time, and now I'm really in the heart of Japanese koi culture, and it's completely different. I don't know how much you can see, but it's covered in snow up here. We're up in the mountains, and it's quite evident. You see like koi stuff everywhere here. It's like a completely different culture. It's not like occasionally you stumble across a koi farm. Here, a koi farm is across the road everywhere you go, so I'm really excited to see the differences there. But I'm thankful enough this year to have been invited out to join Chris Edwards, who's probably one of the most prominent importers to the UK of koi, and probably one of the biggest exporters of koi out of Japan. So this guy's got serious credentials and serious relationships over here that I'm really looking to kind of explore and see, what goes into the life of being a koi dealer. We're joined on this trip by Elite Koi, who are here to buy some fish for their retail premises, and then later in the trip we are due to be joined by Adam Bayer, who you guys might already know I've done some content with on the channel, at his farm, and he's looking for some brood stock and some other bits to sell in his shop. So yeah, it's going to be an awesome trip this. I can't wait to get into it. I think, again, in the south of Japan, I would kind of sit and wait to find out where we're going, whereas I guess in the north of Japan it's kind of like, right, we're off to Maruhiro, and then an hour later we're off to Hosokai. I think we'll get six odd farms in today at least, but first, before all of that, I am not eating hotel breakfast. I am making a point of it now. I am not eating hotel breakfasts, so I'm heading to 7-Eleven to get myself an egg mayonnaise sandwich for breakfast. I mean, judge me as you want, but that's just what I'm doing, unfortunately. There's not much breakfast options in Japan for Europeans, although there are pastries and stuff, so I might get myself a pastry. But yeah, I'll put the camera down. Let's meet back up at the koi breeders. So, day one, we're on our way to Maruhiro.
We are.
And we don't know what we're going to expect, basically, is one of the things I wanted to capture. We were speaking about it last night, that at this time of year, we've just had like the All Japan Koi show, haven't we?
We have.
Coming off the back of that. And I was asking you some questions last night, because it's almost like you don't know what to expect, what's going to be in like the breeder's premises or whatever. Like if it's going to be all tosai for sale, or if it's going to be things that are not for sale. I guess that's kind of one of the benefits of coming with an agent, is that you might have a bit more information as to like what's going to be around, word of mouth.
Yeah, we know at Maruhiro, because of the way his facility is set up, that his tosai won't be in his main koi house.
Yeah.
Most of the breeders try and keep their tosai away from the main koi house, and that's due to temperature issues. And so, for example, Shinoda, his tosai are in the same house as his nisai and his sansai, so he's in a desperate rush to get rid of his nisai before the turn of the year, because with the warm water from the tosai makes the nisai water warmer, and as a result he has to feed more, and they don't like to feed the nisai at all once they come in from the mud ponds. So of course the longer they're in there, the thinner they get. So
is that due to just trying to give his nisai a wintering period, or is that just because
I'm not sure why they do that, but no breeders feed their fish when they come in from the autumn harvest, I mean all the way through, so the nisai are never fed on the inside ponds. I don't think it's a cost-cutting exercise, because they don't put cost before health.
I suppose they've kind of already put the investment in having them in the mud ponds and feeding them in the mud ponds, and so like whatever return they're expecting,
it's already done.
It's already invested in there.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It all makes sense. I guess this time of year it's just interesting, because it's not like in my mind, would you class it as like a tosai season
absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Despite it being the tosai season, when we get to Maruhiro, you'll see he's got thousands of nisai, hundreds of sansai, So yeah, you'll see that.
Yeah.
The quality is still very high, despite, you know, there's this myth where I won't buy Nisai in February because all the best stuff went in the autumn harvest. Where in reality you're not seeing the best stuff half the time, because Maruhiro, for example, will net one pond, then he'll do another one and another one. So you're only taking the best ones out of each pond, and a dealer will come on week 1 and he's still got week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7's worth of netting to do. So then you're never taking the best fish. So you'll see for yourself there's still very good fish when you get here.
Well, this is it. I mean, a lot of people will, like, I've only been to Japan a couple of times. I'm by no means an expert. Like, my perception of it was that, like, there would just be Tosai available. Like,
no.
as silly as that sounds, because I've never been, you know, I would think that they'd be wanting all the Nisai out in some form of mud ponds. But then again, I just think with all the level of snow, because there's, in some places, there's like nearly 4 foot deep snow.
Absolutely.
And you said it's good.
This is much less than normal. The Nisai won't be released in the mud ponds until June.
Right.
So once the snow starts to melt, and it's one of the reasons why they're in a rush for the snow to melt, is they then start their mud pond preparations, the cleaning and the sterilising, etc., of what they do for their mud ponds. So the earlier they can do that, the better. But these Nisai won't go back into the mud ponds until June.
Yeah.
And their focus is not to put, they want to put as few Nisai in there as possible.
Yeah.
So their focus is to clear out, and as we get more towards June, the prices will drop.
Yeah.
And they're in a panic to get rid of them.
In your mind, like for anybody or any dealer or hobbyist who are coming to Niigata, would you suggest this time for a novice if you come in? Because novice, you want to be coming in Tosai season, really, don't you? And I suppose I guess it can be more expensive if you're coming in Nisai Sansai season.
Well, look, again, it's difficult to make a suggestion until you know exactly what the hobbyist or the dealer coming is looking for.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend any hobbyists come now if they're looking for Tosai, because what you're finding now, it's the bulk stocks. So you'll have ponds full of Tosai, and the breeders, the Tategoi, are all somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what will happen over the next few days, weeks, months, is the breeders will make another round of selections. Some of those fish will go into the stock ponds, some of them will be saved again as Tategoi, and then some will be Tateshita.
Yeah.
So that, for a visiting hobbyist who wants to come and hand select high quality Tateshita, I think end of March, towards the middle of April is the best season. But again, a lot of it depends on the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds very unprofessional, but we had one breeder one year who we kept saying, look, when's your Tateshita ready? We've got people want to pick them. And he said, whenever it cools down, because it's too hot to go in my koi house. So there's never a right and a wrong time to come. It's just a case of getting lucky.
Yeah. And I suppose that's what, again, another like thing that I've learned just since I've been here is that, you know, you're kind of waiting for the breeders essentially to decide which Tosai are going to make it to Nisai.
Absolutely. That's it. They make that decision.
Yeah, and as soon as that decision's made, you're like pouncing on that as an agent to Elite Koi, who we're here now. I suppose you'll be trying to get little snippets of information from people that you know in the area.
We're constantly talking to breeders, finding out when they're doing the next rounds of selections, how many stocks they've got left. You know, sometimes, for example, we're going to Maruhiro now. This is a bad example because he never runs out of Tosai. But let's say Sakasumi are about to drive past, he'll be running out of his main Tosai stocks. So he knows he's got to go and do some sort of selection soon to replenish those stocks.
Yeah.
So we're constantly on top of, you know, finding out when they're doing it and pushing them if we can. But they don't really listen. They've got their own schedules, and, you know, we've got to fit in around those guys.
So yeah, we've just been basically waiting for, doing some selections on Maruhiro's kind of cheaper Nisai, and some like more expensive ponds as well. And I think Chris has taken himself home a Yamabuki for himself, and they've selected some fish for their like lives page, is what I said. But one of the interesting things, you know, from my point of view, and it shows that Maruhiro is very big koi farm, but also like a huge business as well. Like the turnover of fish they have here, you know, does make them one of the biggest koi farms in the world. So yeah, interesting. I'm just at their amazing round pond, which I'm sure a lot of you will have seen before. I think what's really nice with Maruhiro Koi Farm is that you can kind of come up here and see like the level of fish that he is able to breed here. So you can almost take the information about how the fish develop and then kind of go back from there and, you know, look at some of the Nisai that he's got available, because for 99.9% of people on the planet, you know, a lot of these fish will be just unachievable price-wise to purchase, you know. But it's nice to be able to come here and have a look around, and then be able to go back down to the other tanks, which are a little bit cheaper and more affordable, and be able to like select Maruhiro Koi with this kind of lineage. So it's more about what your eye is, you know, going down to these other cheaper tanks and testing your eye against what you think can develop to be one of these monsters in here. But it's very difficult to beat the breeder. I mean, Maruhiro-san probably, you know, has already decided which ones are never going to make it up into this pond. But there's the whole part about coming to Japan is that chance, you know, to buy something that's maybe slipped the net with the breeder. It's very difficult, but it is possible. It is possible. So don't let anyone tell you that it's not possible. But yeah, the guys are having some real good fun, trying not to spend all their budget in the first couple of hours of the trip. But yeah, Maruhiro's a very good salesperson. He's like, oh, look at this fish, and then you buy it, and then you've got to make a box to put it in. So then you know, 3 or 4 fish added to a box, and you know, he is an incredible salesman and an incredible breeder as well. So just so many varieties and so many, you know, different colorations in the pond. You've got Kiyotsuri they're really famous for. I actually asked him about the origins for Kiyotsuri, because the origin of Kiyotsuri really is here, like the birthplace of it. There's him, Otsuka, and I believe one other one, Issa Miyatora, or can't remember the name of it. Not Issa Koi Farm, but another one that begins with Issa. And I asked Chris, I said, would you ask Maruhiro-san and ask him who was the first with Kiyotsuri? And he said he is the first. So I'll take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, but yeah, interesting. But what a pond. Actually a myth. I'm going to try and myth bust something, but this used to be like a swimming baths before this was a koi pond. And I asked Chris the other day, somebody told me that it used to be owned by the Yakuza, the gang network in Japan. So I'm going to try and myth bust that. So if I find out, I'll let you know. Yeah, so Michael and Chris are now going to individually photograph these fish for the Japan Live section on their website. I think a lot of dealers now are moving towards this kind of like concept where they can buy and then try and sell whilst in Japan, and that helps them then be able to maybe get a few more fish whilst they're over here on the trip. So
I don't know, for that price.
That's not like, that's a Tancho. That's like a Tancho Benikiko.
Benikikos, yeah. It's too red.
You can see Otsumi under its skin.
That'll be popular. Everybody likes them.
Yeah, well, you've got like this one here, which is a little bit of a softer tone Kajaki one.
Yeah, fish.
Yeah. It's like 2 different varieties, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've got like Beni Kajaku and regular Kajaku.
Yeah.
So basically, you've got to get 10 in a box, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've got to decide your best 10.
Looking at 10 fish, so.
And then try not to get an extra 10.
We'll probably end up with 2 boxes.
See that definitely. Oh, that one there.
Yeah, that's the better out of the 2 Beckos for sure.
That's a big fish.
But they were so popular, I think they're coming back in trendy, so let's have another one
There's one there as well. Yeah. There's 2, I think. 2 more, is it? Oh. There's one there, look. That one.
Yeah. So
Right,
just checking everything's in the right place here.
Oh, that even if I have it.
So when you focus on there, you're not always looking at
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones, that'd be a popular one, that, if it goes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good find, that, Michael.
Yeah, that'll be popular, that.
We've got 2 more to go from there.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind.
Yeah, there's loads of them.
Yeah.
On the thing.
I quite like these, you know, bottom there. These.
Oh, those, yeah.
But you said you might find that hard to sell.
So,
I think that one will go. That'll photograph though.
yeah?
Yeah.
We'll go for it.
Yeah.
There's 2 in here. There's this one as well, which is a bit different.
I think out of the 2,
Good
that one's got more sumi developed in that one.
Than that one.
Yeah.
It's more of
Yeah.
a cheaper shaker.
Maybe these are 2 different varieties. If this
Yeah.
is Kin Kabuto and that's
Yeah,
maybe
that's-
Kikakira.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's totally different, isn't it?
definitely have this
Gonna
one.
go for that one.
Yeah, it's unique, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Right, nice. We've got one more.
Yeah. So we've got quite a few good Matsuda, so I think we can dismiss them.
Yeah.
What
about
about
Kit?
we can do sourdough. It's always a popular fish.
Yeah, that one.
So when you're buying here, are you thinking about what you can only get from Maruhiro, or are you thinking about what you're going to get tomorrow as well, or how does that come into play?
Yeah, it's blown a bit in a minute, so yeah.
I don't want to go too much on the
First day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These fish are going to go live onto the live
First
page
page.
tonight.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that we can come
Back
back
and get
tomorrow.
more.
yeah. So how did you find your first netting experience in Japan?
Not too bad, actually.
You haven't got backache yet?
Nice and therapeutic. No backache yet. Not a bit later. Yeah, it sounds amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dream, isn't it? To come over to Japan.
I think it helps if you're a hobbyist at heart as well, doesn't it? You know, it's just...
Well, not many people come over and net their own koi in Japan, really, so
No.
not hobbyist right, isn't it?
It's almost like free reign as well, and it's putting your eye to the test as well, isn't it?
Right.
Because essentially you've got to buy what you think you can sell. Yeah. Two more bowls here, selected, I think, by maybe Maruhiro-san that's selected these for Chris. Like a mix of different bits and bobs. Nice shower. I quite like the pattern on this one. And a mix of Benigoi, Shisui and some nice Ginrin Asagi. Some nice sparkle basically. So we've made it to Yagenji Koi Farm. One of my favourite breeders, to be fair. I've never visited here, so I'm delighted to be able to experience this. You've got kind of like this main fish house here. This is his sold pond, and then he's got some fish for sale in here. One of the reasons he's one of my favourite breeders is he has a real mix of varieties. So he has like Asagi, which is one of my favourite varieties for those who know me. They grow well in UK water as well. Like I bought a jumbo Tosai male at 30 cm, and I think at Sansai going into Yonsai it's about 70 cm now. So yeah, I really like the Asagi you get from here. He also is quite famous for Karashi and Deutz Karashi in particular. He also was doing really well with Shiro, but I think he's actually slowed down production on those from speaking with people. But yeah, some awesome examples in here. Be interested to see what the boys get up to in here. They've also got, if I just go along the beams, balance is not one of my fortes. But yeah, you can kind of get an example there. Some of the quality Tosai they got. Shiro, Ginrin Shiro, Goshiki, Kajaku, Ginrin Showa, Shisui, Asagi, Kiko, Benikiko. Yeah, real nice mix. And I guess these are all different grades, but you can actually see the difference in like water clarity. Like, I presume these are all on the feed. Really nice. Really nice. What a really clean, efficient fish house as well. Like, you know, compared to Maruhiro, which is an awesome place. I'm not knocking it, but the fish house here is really nice. Really clean, pristine, and the water clarity over here is just like glass. But a lot of the water that a lot of the breeders get up here is actually from the mountains that we're on here, and Yagenji are right at the top of the mountain. I said to Chris, maybe because they're at the top of the mountain, they get the most fresh water off the melting ice. Really cool. I think when you get bored of sites like this, you're not fit for koi anymore. There's just nothing better than seeing feeding Tosai. Really cool. So let's see what we get up to, see if we buy anything. So we've just made it to Hosokai. Really kind of windy, windy road to get to Hosokai. Really cool place actually. They've got quite a lot of little varieties. Showa, Akamatsuba, Ginmatsuba, loads of little bits in here. Instantly drawn to a pond which had some really cool pieces in it. Then to find out, oh, it's Tatigoi, so yeah, you will find that in some places. But yeah, some really nice stuff here, and we'll see if the boys get up to any buy-in whilst we're here.
So we've got 25 in a box.
So what have you selected these for, Chris? Let's start there.
These we're looking for Goshiki for Elite Koi Club VIP grow out event. So
yeah.
specifically, we've had some good Goshiki from Hosokai previously.
Yeah.
So we're just seeing if we can make enough fish up together to make a grow out. There's some cracking Azagi in here as well though. Azagi, Hosokai fish are beautiful.
Yeah. You can just see the Benny, all of them have got examples of Benny.
Yeah.
But the reticulation's not too advanced yet for the age they're at, which is a good thing.
That's right, yeah. So, yeah, that's an interesting fish. I picked that one.
Yeah, like a Kanoko Asagi,
just different.
Yeah, that Shiro kept catching my eye. What do you reckon to that one?
I think that should be the koi perspective choice fish. Do you think? Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? It's like,
it is nice, yeah.
When you get them up, you can see how clean the skin is. Yeah,
I think it's still got some like
work
development yet to do, yeah, but nice fish nonetheless. Where the development on all of these could be really good, because the Goshiki, they'll go a lot darker, won't they, when they get back home?
That's right, yeah. I mean, they're going to start, they've already started going, some of them. That one there, it's got a lovely maritime spot on there.
That's what Michael chose, that one, yeah.
Well, to find a fish like that in there is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So you're going to be growing these out at Elite Koi then, or is this going to be a event where people take them home and grow them on as a little competition?
No, it'll be done with us for the 3 months. I think at the minute we haven't finalised the details, but yeah, we'll definitely keep them with us for the 3-month grow out period. Interesting. I'd like to do it on a random draw basis, so we need to make sure that all the fish are similar in terms of size, development potential.
Yeah, nice. So that marks the end of day one of the trip to Niigata with Chris from Azukari Koi. I just want to give a big shout out to Chris for enabling me to come with him on this trip. I really enjoyed that interview in the car with him and the visit to Maruhiro, Yagenji and Hosokai. Please stay tuned for more. If you like this content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video. And there'll be a full written article in the magazine you can go and read completely free of charge in the Digimag that's released on the first of the month every month. I hope you've enjoyed that. Like I said, much more to come, so please stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.